It's time to tune in to Defending the Faith with Frank Harber. Hear the latest about religious liberty.
A win for religious freedom in one of the remaining blockbuster cases facing the U.S. Supreme Court this term.
A legal battle continues for the Little Sisters of the Poor for nearly a decade now.
A street preacher armed with a speaker, a microphone, and a camera strapped to his chest is now banned from the village.
Our founding fathers believed in the separation of church and state, but not for one fleeting moment did they believe in the separation of God and government.
And powerful apologetics. Are you prepared to defend the faith?
I'm convinced unless we trust in God, this nation is finished.
We're facing a new kind of enemy. We're involved in a new kind of warfare, and we need the help of the Spirit of God.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Defending the Faith. I am Frank Harber. I am your host. I am the President and Chief Legal Counsel for Defending the Faith Alliance, and I am a religious attorney. Our alliance defends the faith. We defend Christ. We defend churches. We defend Christians all across the country and help them maintain their ability to speak truth to the world. One of the big things that we do is that we help churches. And so we have a new thing called Church Shield that you might want to tell your church or pastor about, where we cover the 8 core documents of the church, things like articles of incorporation, bylaws, making sure that the proper language is in there so that your church can have religious freedom and religious autonomy, so that you don't have to compromise on your church's beliefs concerning things like marriage and weddings and other things that you would do at your church. It's very, very important. And so we cover all the documents and make sure that a church is provided for. Also, one of the things we do is we also provide free wills for people in these churches and give them the opportunity to leave a bequest to their church if they so incline. But the wills are free to any of our Alliance church members. If you're not a member of one of our Alliance churches and you want a free will, you can still get one with us, and you can join our Shield program. And we have several Shield members, and we would love for you to be a part of it and help us protect religious freedom across the country. You can find out more about that at defendingthefaith.law. So right now we're going to join our program in progress, and we pray that you will be blessed by what you hear next. Welcome to another episode of Defending the Faith. I am Frank Harber. I am your host, and I am the Chief Legal Counsel of Defending the Faith Alliance. And we defend the faith. We have many different programs. We have Church Shield. We have Kingdom Shield, Church Shields for our churches, Kingdom Shields for our Christian-owned businesses. We have Ministry Shield. We represent over 100 organizations across our country. And we're doing many, many things for the Lord. And we're so excited today about this show because we just did a show with a Christian golf club company today. We have a basketball team. We have a cybersecurity group. We have some of the most interesting ministries that you can imagine under the sun. But today, this is going to be about special needs. And this is definitely near and dear to my heart, as I hope it is yours. There's not many people doing what you're going to hear about today, and it's worthy of being supported. So we hope that you'll stay with us this whole time. We hope that you'll like this and subscribe to us and share this episode with somebody. And we'll give you details as we go on about how you can contact our guest. So we have a very special guest today, Becky. We have Jamie Koesema. And yes, because it is spelled differently. I had been telling everybody when she's coming on today the wrong name. So I was calling her Koesema, but it's Jamie Koesema at R4 Retreat Center.
Yes. And
so we're excited about what's going on. So Jamie, tell us who you are, kind of how you got to be over this.
Well,
then you're gonna have to tell us what your shirt means to.
I can't wait. I'm Jamie Koesema. I am the founder and CEO of R4 Retreat Center. And we are a ministry that is focused on ministering to the caregivers of children and adults with special needs. So as we've gone through our 10 years of ministry, God has really revealed a greater mission field for us. We went in really just focused on families, first of all. We wanted this to be a family ministry, so we are inviting families to be involved. And then as we got deeper into it, our hearts really were drawn to caring for those caregivers because we saw the need. We saw just how kind of unseen they are. They're kind of in the shadows. There's a lot of organizations who care for their children, but there's not a lot of people out here who are caring for them. And so that is our mission, to really care for them. And the interesting thing of how I got involved in this was nowhere on my life radar at all. So I homeschooled my daughter through her whole school career, and I knew there were some issues, some learning issues going along the way. But she graduated from high school, and then I was like at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, now what do I do? You know, I schooled her for this whole time. Now what's my life going to look like going forward? And I read the book Circle Maker by Mark Batterson, and really started praying about what God would have me do. And one of my loves in life is camp ministry. I love camp ministry. It's the best. And so I started really praying that God would lead me into some kind of camp ministry. And then at that same time I was praying that, we found out my daughter was autistic. And she's high functioning. She's living independently now. She's doing great. But it kind of shifted our focus a bit to try to discover how we can better help her. But in the process, God opened my eyes to this whole world of special needs families and special needs ministries. And God put on my heart, you need to create a ministry for these families. You need to create a retreat ministry for these families. So he collided the world of camp with the world of special needs. And I fought him for a while. I'm like, I am not qualified to do this. I don't even know where to begin. And eventually he was like, no, this is for you. You're doing this. And so with my dad's help and my mom's encouragement and prayers, we dove into this. And it has been a 10-year journey to get to where we are right now. And God has done extraordinary things along the way. So we're really, really thankful to be here today to share our story. So,
well, we're so glad you're here, and forgot to introduce her, but my wife Becky is co-hosting
Yay.
with us today. You can't see it, but her little scooters to the side. So she's had foot surgery, so we got different things going on. But special needs is a big area that the church can help with, because they're kind of all alone out there, aren't they?
They're very much alone. Yeah. And I mean, there's extraordinary churches out there like yours, Sunnyvale, who have huge special needs ministries, and they're doing extraordinary work.
You know about our church?
I do know about your church.
Yeah. Rosa, right, you're watching Rosa.
Shout out.
So yeah, shout out. First Baptist Sunnyvale. And we've got the Sunshine Center.
Yeah.
And we have a lot.
Yeah, you do.
That come to that. And so
your church is doing amazing things. So, and we go to First Baptist in Forney, which also has a huge special needs ministry, and they're doing great things as well.
Nathan, yes.
Nathan Lino.
Yes.
Cool dude.
Guy. He's a Hispanic pastor too.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, Eddie Lopez.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
Because there's another whole side of what I believe God is doing for our future, and we're going to need help with that.
But in your journey, you have found there's a lot of help out there for the special needs children, adults.
Yeah.
What you're finding is that their caregivers
need
some help.
Right. And they are really a silent demographic out there. There's a lot for their kids, not enough for their kids, but there's a lot for their kids. But the caregivers are out there. I mean, these people are fierce warriors to advocate for their children, and it is a constant battle for them to advocate for their children. And you know, for us, we raise our children and they turn 18, they go to college, they move on, and they're off and they're independent. Our families, it is a lifetime commitment to take care of their children, and it gets overwhelming.
I bet everything, just a trip in the car.
Yes.
I mean, to the store. I mean, it's probably all day. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's tough. And for our families, they literally have to fight for everything. They have to fight for the services they get for their kids. They have to fight they have to fight against just society looking at their kids funny, the discrimination and things. So it's easier for our families to just stay home from everything, like order groceries, because they don't want to take their kids to the grocery store because they don't know, will there be a meltdown? Will there be something that everyone's going to stare at you? And then how do you deal with that? And so it's just easier to stay home. And so they end up being very isolated, and they don't know that there's people out there who care. And they don't know that there's people out there who really want to pour into them and share Jesus' love with them. And so that's what we're trying to do.
So being a caregiver is very taxing, to say the least.
Extremely.
Physically, emotionally. Yeah. And then the isolation, what kind of results does that bring?
Health issues, financial issues, because a lot of parents end up having to quit their job, especially as the kids age out of school. It's a huge problem, because for some reason society believes that once your child turns 22, they no longer need services. They're going to be fine. So all these services that these families have had, throughout elementary and high school, all of a sudden disappear when their kids turn 22.
Wow.
And there's nothing. So parents have to quit their jobs and stay home to take care of their kids. They get really creative with finding income, but that's the other side of the equation. We've got these children and their parents fighting for their children through education, but then you've got the adult side of this where everything drops. And so these parents are just like, what do I do now? Like, how do I handle this? So, schools are trying to help parents get ahead of that, plan for that transition. But there's still really, outside of a few day habs and, sunshine at your church, outside of a few people like that are really trying to serve that adult community, there's not a lot. So those parents end up staying home. They lose their jobs. They lose their homes sometimes. There's homeless families out there with children with disabilities. And it's tough. It's tough. It is a constant battle. It's a constant fight. And so they need people, these caregivers need people to come up behind them and just love them and let them know they're not alone, and to create a safe space for them to find community and to find support and to find love and to find Jesus most of all. So that's our heart.
How did you get this burden? I mean,
well,
you have a special needs child?
Our daughter, when she turned 18, we figured out that she was autistic, and that's where that burning kind of came from. I mean, she's doing fine right now, but God just planted us in different places along the road after he opened this vision to us. And I spent a lot of times with Johnny and friends with their staff up there, and just learned as much as I could about this demographic and trying to understand and trying to figure out the best way to minister to these people. And I mean, Johnny and Friends does extraordinary work. I love them deeply. And And so, I was meeting with them and I'm like, well, you guys are already doing kind of what I have in mind. So, should I really be pursuing this? And the girl I was meeting with was like, you know what, we're doing what we can do, but it's not enough. We need more people like you to come along and serve the people we can't serve. And so I was like, okay, let's dive in and go and see where God takes this. And that was 10 years ago. And God has done some interesting things along the way to really solidify our vision and to grow us into what we are right now, because it's very different than what we started off with, because God really opened our minds to what the big needs were in our families. And it's really to serve those caregivers and the siblings as well, because there's not a lot for siblings, and they go through a lot with a sibling with special needs, because all the attention is on that child. And so the siblings are kind of left behind, but they are fierce people as well, just like their parents, and they will fight to the death for their siblings. So we do special things for the siblings as well at our retreats, and that's been really fun to do as well. So
our 4 retreat center.
Mhm.
So talk about that. This is a nonprofit ministry, and people can support it.
Yes.
Because people need to support this. And let's talk briefly. We'll talk more about the end. But right now, where could we find you? If someone wanted to find you and reach out, and you have a website, what do we have?
We do. Our website is r4retreatcenter.org. So that's easy. It's long, but it's easy. So you can find us there. We're also on social media. You can just, on Facebook, you can find us at R4 Retreat Center. I believe the letters are capital, so capital R, and capital C for R4 Retreat Center. And then on Instagram, it's all small letters. So you can find us on both of those. Those are where we spend most of our time on social media. And our location, where God has planted us right now, which is an amazing story, is at SIL. It's Summer Institute of Linguistics. They're down in South Dallas, kind of between Cedar Hill and Duncanville, right off of Camp Wisdom Road. And we met their CFO, I believe he is, at a special needs conference in Forney, or a special needs fair in Forney. And he came up to our table. We were doing a vendor table. He came up and started talking to the chairman of our board, and she was telling him what we were doing. And he was like, you need to come to SIL because you guys can do everything you need to do where we are. So we went out for a tour. They gave us an office. Their campus is absolutely beautiful. It's like a camp. So we're able to do our retreats and everything we need to do right now in that space. And it's been a beautiful thing, because previous to that, we were only doing like one retreat a year, and now we're doing something monthly, and we're doing moms lunches monthly too. So
tell us everything. Tell us what y'all do. We want to hear this.
So on a monthly basis, we have what we call Mom's Lunch, and we invite moms of children who have disabilities to join us for lunch. We pay for lunch for them. So we meet at a restaurant. We have 2 going on right now. One in Rockwall, and so we meet at a restaurant in Rockwall for the ladies on that side of town, and we also have one in Tarrant County where we meet in Arlington. And so we have 2 of those going on every month. So wherever you are in DFW, you can hit one of those. One, the Rockwall one is on Friday, and the Arlington one is on Saturdays. So once a month we do that. We pay for lunch, so you just get to show up and enjoy community with other moms. And it's been a really, really exciting thing to watch that kind of grow. And those moms just love each other, and God's doing some cool things through that.
So do those restaurant owners have a heart for this as well?
The one in Rockwall, we talked to their manager, and he's loving what we're doing. So we go to the same restaurant every month in Rockwall, and they give us a discount and that kind of thing. Arlington, they're kind of popping around to all different restaurants and meeting in different places. So But the Arlington one is really growing. it's booming.
I've seen pictures.
So yeah. So we're very excited about that. And that's really, we started doing our retreats every year, but then once we started doing those moms lunches every month, when you get moms on your side, I'm telling you, it does something. So we started building into the lives of the moms, and they were so appreciative, and then they started telling other people, and so it sort of just ballooned from there, and then God put us in that location at SIL, and so we can do our monthly retreats there now. And our retreats are they're just an afternoon. We're doing them on Saturdays, and from 1 to 6. And we have special things for the caregivers. So they have about 3 hours without their children. And we are very intentional in that time to provide just community time for them, so they can build a community with other caregivers who get it. That's what my shirt means.
I see.
We get it. Yeah. So there's that community that we're building there. We have a prayer ministry as well, so that we can be intentional about finding out what our caregivers' needs are and pray for them there on the spot. And then we're building a prayer team as well who can pray for them throughout every day. And so we're putting that together as well. And so while the parents are off just chilling for 3 hours, we have buddies who come and partner with our kids with disabilities, kids and adults. We have no age limit. So you can bring a baby up to a 60-year-old brother or sister or whatever, and we will serve them all. And so we have buddies who come and help them have a great day and go through all the activities. And we have all kinds of camp activities that we're able to do there at that location. They even have a pool. So in the summertime, we get to use the pool, and they have hiking trails. So if they're able, we can go hiking, and they have all kinds of outdoor green space. So we're able to do all kinds of things outside as well. So that's been really fun. And then we have, like I was mentioning before, we have our sibling ministry. So we have a girl who loves to come and just love on those siblings, and they run like crazy people and have so much fun. She's hilarious, so she keeps them entertained. And then we come together. So that's about 3 hours of the afternoon, and then we come together for about an hour for kind of a family fun activity. So this next retreat we're having next week, we're going to have a talent show. And if you've never seen a special needs talent show, you need to see a special needs talent show, because they're extraordinary. They are so much fun. And because it's just an open mic situation, so nobody has to plan anything. And once the first or second person gets up there and does something silly, then it's just, there's like a line of people ready to go. And it blesses the parents so much just to see their children spotlighted on stage and people cheering and celebrating them. And that's really fun. So, and then we follow that family activity with a family dinner. So, everybody gets together and we have a big old dinner together. And because that's also something that a lot of our families lack, is family dinner time with extended family, because a lot of them, especially as the kids get a little bit older, families don't come around quite as much. And so holidays are rough because, they're still alone, because families don't always want to participate when your child is different. Mm-hmm. So we try to build into that family community as much as we can, and offer that space for them to be able to have dinner together with a large group. So that's what our retreats look like. As I was telling you, I do believe that the Lord is moving us into a Spanish ministry. So I'm looking for Spanish speakers who would be willing to come alongside and catch our vision for what we're doing. And I don't know Spanish, but I know God's leading us into that area. So I keep telling my dad and my husband, I'm like, we have to find those people that I trust, because I'm not going to know if they're saying the right thing or not. If they're really following our vision, I don't know. But I have to trust God that He's going to bring the right person and the right people. And I mean, the way that we have functioned is we've always started, we started with that mom's lunch. So that's our first thing, is to try to find a very strong Spanish speaking woman who can understand what's going on and be able to lead that mom's lunch for our Spanish speaking moms. So, because we have run into quite a few of them, and I would love to be able to communicate with them and expand our ministry in that way. So
maybe there will be someone in our audience that would catch that vision and come alongside of you.
That would be spectacular.
So you've mentioned the moms and the siblings. How about dads?
Dads are tough. We tried to start a dad's breakfast and no one showed up. So we really do have a heart for trying to build into the dads as well. It's just, we have to be creative about it and meet them where they are in some way. So we're still praying through that and what that will look like for the dad's ministry, but that is definitely something we've tried and didn't quite get anyone to show up. but so we're looking for a way to do that. And we have at our retreats, we have a lot of dads who come. So we're trying to kind of encourage them in that space to build community on their own and launch themselves into their own little thing. That's one of that. Our mission is to encourage, inspire, and empower individuals with special needs, their caregivers, and their families. And so our heart really is to provide a space, a safe space for them to build that community, to encourage that, and then to inspire them to keep that community going, even outside of what we do, and then empower them to continue. I mean, I heard this thing that if a nonprofit is doing their job the right way, they work themselves out of a job, because you're building a thing within the community you're serving where they learn to serve themselves. And so I don't want to work myself. I don't get paid, but I don't really want to work myself out of a job. But if we can encourage, inspire, and empower our families in such a way that they know that they can move forward, inspire, and, inspire others to continue. And it just is an avalanche moving forward. So more and more families can be served. That's a spectacular thing.
How did you get your name?
Well, our 4, I'll tell you what the 4 R's are. Rest, restore, renew, and Rapha, which is the Hebrew word for healing. So those are our 4 pillars, so to speak. And so that's really what we set out to do at each of our things, is provide rest, restoration, renewal, and healing through God's word and His encouragement and His salvation. So, yeah.
Well, statistically speaking, Jamie, about how many families would you say are impacted with special needs children?
Well, in the U.S., it's 1 out of 5 children have some sort of disability. So 20% of the children's population of the U.S. is affected in some way. And I read another statistic that the divorce rate in families who have children with disabilities is 80%, because the stress is just almost unbearable. And it tends to be the moms get so focused on, taking care of that child, and the dad doesn't really know how to get involved and how to help. And then there's friction because mom wants dad to do more, but dad doesn't know what to do. And, so it creates problems. And so part of our mission is really to help build into that family and help those parents know that they're not alone and know that there's other families, other couples out there who can come alongside them and help them. Another part of our ministry that we're working on building is the counseling side of our ministry. So to provide biblical counseling for our families. So as they're going through some kind of struggle, they have someone to go to. And they have a counselor that they can, either as a couple or as an individual or even as a family, be able to go to and find help, because it's a struggle. And, you know, some of our families are not, they don't feel like they need it, but then there comes a time when they do. And so we want to be able to be there for them, to plug them into a counselor to be able to find that help if they need it.
What's one of your favorite stories about a family that's been impacted, that's come through our 4 retreat center?
One of my favorite, let's see. We have so many. I can't put it on one family. I'll give you a kind of a vision of what happens when parents come to a retreat.
Yeah.
And what I call it is the exhale. So the families will drop their kids off a lot of times very reluctantly, and they're not sure because they don't know us from Adam, and they're just trusting that this is a safe space. And so they'll drop their kids off and they're kind of walking away, still watching. And then they'll finally turn around and go do their thing. And then as they get in that space with the other caregivers, you can see them just exhale, because, you know, they live their lives just in a constant inhale, and there's never really that space where they can just breathe. And so to see that happen at our events is just, it's so special, because that's what we're all about, is just to give them that space to breathe and to find that rest and restoration, renewal, and healing. It's extraordinary. So I'm kind of putting them all in a collective box, but I see that happen with pretty much every parent that comes. Once they kind of let go a little bit and they trust us in a moment, and they can go off and just be childless for a minute and have adult conversation without someone tugging on their shirt. And it gives them that opportunity to just kind of breathe and relax in that space. And then, you know, we can pour into them, because they're in a space where they can actually focus, and they can, you know, they can hear what the Lord has for them. So, yeah.
Well, before we close out, what would be like, what would you tell a special needs family right now that they feel overwhelmed, they just feel underwater? What would you tell them?
You're not alone. That's the biggest thing I would say, and that we get it. My shirt. We do. There are people out here who understand what you're going through. Not specifically your individual journey, but we understand, you know, collectively what you're walking through, and the struggle that you're walking through, and the stress, and you're not alone. And there are people out here who want to love on you, who want to let you express yourself, let you cry, let you share your grief, because there's a lot of grief walking through a special needs diagnosis to begin with, but then the grief of what you thought it would be when you had a child, and this is not what you thought it was going to be. So there's a lot of grief and frustration and anger, and I just want you all to know you're not alone. And there are a lot of people out there who want to just embrace you and want you to know that you are loved and you are heard and you are cared for deeply by us, but even more deeply by the Father, by God. So you're not alone.
Tell us one more time where we can find you.
r4retreatcenter.org is our website, and everything that we do is listed on the website. You can sign up for activities there. All the things are there. You can also find us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.
You've been listening to Jamie Koesema, R4 Retreat Center. And we would ask you today to please share this episode with someone who needs to hear this. Just share it with everybody, because you never know.
Yeah.
There's some people out there who are really, really hurting, and this could be a great blessing. Prayerfully consider making a gift and supporting them. I know they need support. I know that they would appreciate your help. It's non-profit, so it's tax deductible. This would be a great, some great soil to sow into.
Absolutely.
We appreciate everybody listening. Share this episode, like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode of Defending the Faith. Well, God bless you, and thank you for tuning in to this wonderful episode of Defending the Faith. If you want to find out more about us, go to www.defendingthefaith.law. And there you can find resources about why Christianity is true, how to know God exists. You can find out about our SHIELD program and join us and become a partner with us. And one of the things that happens out of that is you could get a free will and leave a legacy. And, you know, so many people, they don't have wills. And so it's one of the things that we do make available to our SHIELD members, to our church SHIELD members, and also to our SHIELD members who are partners with us in our ministry. We pray that you've been blessed, and we will see you in the next episode of Defending the Faith.